It's going pretty wonderful this evening, Chris. Nothing to complain about. How about yourself? Yes, indeed. Same here, Chris. I think it's like 125. Well, 130. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I knew how many miles it was. Yes, 13 starters here tonight here at Kentucky. This D-shaped oval here this evening is where we're at. Just out spot. Located just outside of Sparta, Kentucky. So one of the D-shaped tracks that was built in the early 2000s, similar to Kansas, Nashville Super Speedway. You know, you could even say Las Vegas. Most of the mile and a halves drive similar to one another, but they're all different within their own respective rights. We have a short back straightaway here, and the two long sweeping corners, you have to drive them differently. Got to be careful with the front straightaway. You know, if you go down onto the flat on the front straightaway, you might find a manhole cover or a drain. So you might want to be careful about that. It can be quite bumpy down there. So pace car getting ready to pull off, Chris, and we will be green for the first time of asking this evening. Yes, everybody's jockeying for position on this early initial start. Get up to go. So Jetson 2 laps down, it says already. Wonder if he wasn't able to grid. I was just talking to him while they were practicing, so don't just could have had a problem trying to get grid, Chris. Pete Woodrum taking command of this race. It looks like early on in first position, while there's a battle going on behind for second. Archibald and John Tiller, then Nathan Line behind Tiller. So Bradford and Pearson going at it for fifth and sixth. Bradford trying to take that position away. Pearson looking low behind them. And behind them, you have Sanchez and Selmer. That is seventh and eighth place. Then Christopher Campbell right there in ninth. It is quite easy to get a bobble out of either turn 4 or turn 2, especially turn 2, though. because of how narrow turn 2 narrows up, right, Chris? It just wants to go forever, it seems, but it goes, the racing line here goes right up towards the wall, just like you would at Texas or any other mile and a half for that matter, right? So turn 4, there is that hump there that you see down on the bottom lane. If you try to make that transition from aggressively going from top to bottom, you will feel like a roller coaster. So Archibald taking the lead away from Woodrum here with John Tiller in tow. He's trying to stay in tow. So Woodrum's going to fall 2 positions here in the matter of 2 corners. So the fuel mileage this evening, Chris, that the drivers were telling me, about 44 to 46 laps, maybe 48 laps on a full tank. So about the same amount. Go ahead. Yes, indeed. It looks like maybe 3. Yeah. Yes, it just depends on how the cautions will space out here with these 13 competitors. Judson is out there. He scoring pylon showed him initially 2 laps down. He's only 9 1/4 seconds back from the race lead. So, yeah, he's out there. Maybe he just started from pit lane. Maybe? I don't know. But there's battles all throughout the field. Yeah, by Richard. Selner is back there as well, I do believe. Brandon Moore back here. Kentucky's not really a track that a lot of these guys race at anymore, Chris, because as you know, it's no longer on the schedule, hasn't been on the schedule for 3 to 4 years now. 2020 was the last race they ran here. You know, Cole Custer won that race by the bonsai move he made. So, what was it, 3-4 wide type of almost finish, you know. It was a mixture of old tires and new tires, if I'm not mistaken, on that last restart of that 2020 race, and it was a wild one. Cole Custer's only career win in the Cup Series. But Kentucky, I always thought Kentucky was a very racy track. It always, the first initial race there, Kyle Busch won it. It seemed like it was a bit of a snooze fest, but it really just depends on the racing and the atmosphere and the track conditions, right, Chris, from each race. And each track is really what type of race you're going to get, whether it's going to be a barn burner or epic side-by-side battling the entire time, or somebody's going to pull out and dominate. You never can tell until you show up and race. And there is a squabble. Oh, yeah, he's getting really, really wobbly out of turn number 2. Only 11 laps in, and that's what the cars are looking like 11 laps into the run, Chris. Jason Pearson for not running him over. Yes, out of turn number 2. His teammate making it 3 wide down to the inside, but thinks better of it. Backs out of that, so doesn't put his teammate in a compromising position. He's driving Miss Daisy at the moment this evening, like he talked about. So it's a very momentum-based track. Kentucky is very rhythmic track, easy for me to say. So If you lose that momentum like you just saw with 21 of Archibald, you will almost lose all that rhythm, all that, you know, you're going to lose a lot of time, a lot of track position. That is nice. What a nice paint scheme Sonic put together there. Oh, very compromising. That's going to float up. Nathan Line floated up on the entry into Archibald up there, but luckily nobody wrecked. Can't believe it. Campbell's going to take advantage of that and move into fourth position. So this wobble that's still going on a little bit further back inside the top five. Oh, man, look at Sammy. He's really sawing that wheel, Chris. He is sawing it back and forth. Pete Woodrum in the pits really early for a pit stop, I'd have to say, Chris. Don't know if something occurred with Pete, but he is you are all good, producer man. Sometimes you just gotta take time. Selner dropping a little bit further back. I do believe some drivers, there was a, oh man, what a hard hit. Out of turn number 2, the car just goes away from him. I don't know if there was, yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if there was contact. Yes, there was. We might need an onboard shot. These TV display cameras are a bit, there we go. Thank you, Chris. Oh, maybe he was just trying to keep it off of us, Sammy, or they did for sure make contact. Oh my goodness. Man, oh man. And he was having such a good run. Reports that I was getting, Chris, that some drivers practiced for the modern configuration of Kentucky. This is the legacy version of Kentucky, Chris. So that could be, you know, yes, really nobody's going to win in this type of situation. I don't have all the exact details, Chris, but it's something to that effect of just, I think, oh man, Nathan Line, and yeah, I think he was trying to avoid Archie. No, the past 10 laps, we're on lap 21. It started at lap 11, remember? So, oh my goodness. Just a wee bit. Well, we rode on board with him earlier just to see, you know, how much he was sawing at the wheel, and he's still sawing at it, so. It's about to be 25 laps into the race, Chris. We are working lap 24. Or, yep, just put 24 down, working lap 25. So, Tiller with a second, might as well say second and a quarter, second and a half lead over Sanchez, Pearson, and Campbell right there. That is second, third, and fourth. Huntley, like you said, just moved into the top five in fifth position. Well, Kentucky, there is kind of multiple grooves here. You can, you know, run different lanes from one another. So that's one of the things that this track really lets you have. Yeah, sometimes there's 3 or 4 different lanes depending on the track. Yeah, trying to find a hot dog stand, eh? So there are just certain moments, certain times when you're battling an ill-handling car, it's gonna want to get away from you, and you got to try to just let it almost run its course until you can finally catch it, right? So you're really seeing a lot of comers and goers in this 28 lap run here, Chris. All that, and also Campbell's been applying some pressure to Sanchez the last couple of laps. Campbell moving into the third position. Huntley up into fourth, taking fourth away from Pearson.
I think my mic was not working for the first, what was that, almost 20 minutes.
What do you mean, Chris? I've been talking to you the whole time.
Well, as far as the
stream?
Yeah.
I've basically been talking to myself the entire stream.
I think so. I hope I'm wrong, but I know my mic has just set itself back to default. I just fixed it, but I noticed my levels weren't moving.
Oh my goodness.
It's always something. It's almost always something. It's not always, just usually.
No, I feel you. I feel you.
Brian's gotten up into fourth place. We saw him have a little bobble off of turn number 2. Oh, he disappeared for a second there. Field is very well spread out now.
Oh yeah, very well spread out. These drivers have gotten pretty, you know, the closest battle is that top 5 battle, or the top 4 battle. Other than that, Bradford and, or excuse me, yeah, other than that, pretty much It's just the front four. Woodrum coming back out on the track after being 19 laps down and repairing that damage from the hard hit from the inside retaining wall on the back straightaway. Selner is approaching the danger zone of being a lap down here this evening, Chris. And they are only about, 10 to 12 laps away from pitting. So in about maybe, give or take 6 more seconds, they will maybe have him a lap down. The front four now all under a good sized blanket.
Swapping for the lead right here. Sanchez just blows the door right off of Tiller. Sanchez is going to start to open up a gap over Tiller. Huntley passes Campbell. Huntley's made his way into the top 3 right now. Huntley looking at Tiller's rear quarter. Across the line, Huntley's making the move. And he's got him cleared as they head through 1 and 2. Now Chris Campbell's trying to make a move on Tiller. And he's got it. Tiller's going back quick. Wondering if he might be about to pit. Or if his car is just falling off.
No, could be at that point of the car is kind of maybe falling off at the moment. Tiller dropping back to 4th place, a second and a half almost off the race lead. And we are in or about,
Whoa!
No. Contact being made by the 19 and 22 machines going through turn 2 on the exit of 2.
I don't know if they did make contact, Will.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
All right, well, look. Camera don't lie. Oh, that was almost like some net code right there because there was a little air gap.
Yeah, there was. Well, okay, well, let's give it the benefit of the net code. But some people say there is no net code. But
I'd say you were still more in the direction of right.
Yeah.
It was whether net code or actual, it was still cause and effect.
Yeah.
But anyway, Sanchez still holding.
Jaden was able to hang on to that lead. I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah, that was
each other, don't we?
Yeah, that was good. He had that thing zigzagging back and forth. Huntley gonna look on the low side again. And easily completes the pass. Has him cleared up off of turn number 2, heading down the backstretch. So Brian Huntley is the new leader as we're coming to lap number 41. Selner just about to lose his lap. He's going to send that car way up into the wall. Try to stay out of the way of the leaders, but ends up hitting the wall.
So closing in. Oh no, contacts might be about to be made here, or maybe not. Maybe not. I think they stayed off each other enough. But what am I trying to say? Pit stops are about to be made here shortly in a few laps, Chris. So putting Selner a lap down, unfortunately. Richard Johns is already in the pits, so maybe either banking on some short pitting here, or could have had an accident that we did not see. I'm trying to say incident, but just couldn't say that at the time. But
almost can really see once you get out front, of the clean air effects, as everybody that's gotten out front is kind of just taken off, at least for a minute.
Exactly, yeah.
Once Brian got out into that clean air, he was just gone once he got past Sanchez. Now 6 tenths, 7 tenths. Campbell, Moore, and Tiller. So lap 44, these cars going to be pitting anytime now, Will. Sellner up in the wall again.
Everybody. Yeah, it's going to be a struggle for some here this evening, unfortunately. Sellner, like I said, one of those. I'm not sure why the track was changed, but.
Oh no! Sanchez was going to hit the pits and he missed.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no!
Well, crucial mistake.
Oh.
Here at Kentucky, the pit road is basically right here out of turn number 4. And it is such an easy thing to overdrive the entry. I think Campbell, did he spin out or wheel hop into the pits?
I don't think so. I think he made it fine.
Okay, I think Campbell made it. Yeah, Campbell made it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made a good pit entry. Campbell super aggressive though. It looked like almost just from the Sanchez angle that we had. So Sanchez is going to lose a lot of time because, you know, slowing up initially for the pits, missing it, then having to pit again.
That's almost like his bat is just pitting twice. Leader Huntley's about to come down.
Exactly, pitting twice. Like, say, for instance, you get a penalty exiting the pitch. You know, you speed exiting, you got to come back down, serve a drive-through or a stop and go or, you know, something to that effect. So anytime you slow up, lose the momentum like we talked about, have to pit, and like you said, have to pit twice, you know, that's...
What happened to Sanchez? Why did he not moving? Did he just call it quits? What happened? Let's see. Currently, Nathan Lyon's the leader, but he's in the pits. So Brian Huntley gonna come back out on track as the leader.
Learned something new today. The Monster Jam, like Monster Truck, you know,
Yeah.
Organization or series. I don't know what you want to call them. You know, they just go out and entertain, you know, all sorts of age groups of people. But they are at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Like if you pull up like their YouTube channel,
Yeah.
they are at Atlanta, like on like the infield of like the front straightaway.
Uh-oh.
Oh, somebody at your home that's not supposed to be at your home, Chris? Or the dog just going doggo at the moment? Ah, gotcha, 10-4. So about to be 50 laps into the race. Huntley in the lead with Brandon Moore in second. Less than a second to Brandon Moore. Christopher Campbell in third position. He's got Jason Pearson and John Tiller behind him. That makes up the top 5 after this cycle of pit stops has occurred.
It looks like green flag pit stops have all cycled through, and we're back on our way. Lap 51 of 130, Will.
Yes, indeed, Chris.
So Sanchez is back on the track, now a lap down. I'd like to find out what he was doing. If we get a caution, let's pull him up and talk to him. You'll have to remember that. But if we get a caution, lap 52, we've been green right from the initial start. Tiller and Pearson.
Yeah,
Side by side, with Brandon Moore right behind them. Tiller's going to take that spot. He's going to be the third place position car now, Will.
Always call Pearson, you know, Mr. Consistent, like top 5, so.
Looks like Woodrum has gotten 1 lap back. I'm not sure how, since we haven't had a caution. Oh, he hasn't pitted yet. That's why he's coming down now. I thought he was re-entering the track. Well, we've got ourselves one heck of a tame race here tonight.
Yes, it is pretty tame. Except for all the sliding around that these cars have been doing, you know.
Speaking of sliders, let's hop on board with Archibald and see how he's holding down since the pit stops. Oh, he's still fighting that thing. It's gonna be a frustrating couple of hours for Archibald. To be honest with you, Will, sometimes I find it pretty impressive to see drivers not rage quitting when they're having a tough time.
Right? That's how I feel.
I mean, it's league racing, so it's you know, points, but it's just frustrating when the car is no good and you're just trying to survive. And I mean, look at that, just smacked the wall off of turn 2. Just trying to survive and wait for it to be over. Grab what you can for points and move on to the next track. It's unfortunate. Archibald was quick at the beginning up front, led a few laps. Brian Huntley still holding on to the lead. 9/10 over Chris Campbell. Tiller going to look low on Campbell. Not quite to the point. Judson and Moore side by side. Looks like Judson's trying to make that pass on Moore. Not quite able to complete it through 1 and 2. Coming up on the halfway point.
Yes, indeed we are, Chris.
Well, let's take a crank it up break, and how about we return when we get to the halfway point?
10-4.
Back here at Kentucky, Brian Huntley about to put Selner another lap down. Selner, another one, just trying to kind of survive and grab points for the night. Judson closing in on Moore. Gonna be looking to get into the top 5.
Campbell's having a strong run tonight. Don't want to jinx it or hopefully curse him or nothing, but he's having a one heck of a strong run in that 68 Ford Mustang tonight. Judson and Moore going at it for, what is that, 5th position, so final spot in the top 5. Judson trying to hold them at bay while they battle behind them frantically on lap 69 of the race. So
Judson's going to complete that pass on Brandon Moore. Putting Judson up into the top 5. Now he's going to have his sights set on Jason Pearson. Brian Huntley continuing to lead this one with 5/10 lead over John Tiller. Judson gets by Pearson. Moore trying to get by Pearson now. And he's not able to complete the pass off of turn 4. They're going to go across the stripe. Back down into turn number 1. Moore still holding the bottom and Pearson up on the high side. Moore's going to be out ahead a bit. He's going to slam that door on Pearson as they go down the backstretch. Judson reeling in Christopher Campbell. Sellner's back off of the track in the pits. Juddy looking high. And he's going to cross over down to the low side as they go across the line. Making their way down to turn number 1. Judson's just going to take it right away from Campbell. So Judson now up in a podium position. Just put himself up into 3rd. But there's a pretty big gap between Tiller in 2nd and himself in 3rd.
Yeah, 3 1/4 seconds gap between 3rd and 1st place. So about almost 3 seconds would be the gap from him to Tiller. About 2.5 seconds, I think, is from him to Tiller. Somewhere around that. So, but Judson, I think Sean started in last place, right? So
yeah, he either missed the start or we weren't sure what happened.
Yeah, I think he started from the pits or something to that matter, because at one point, scoring and timing, don't know if it was just miscalculation or what, but had him 2 laps down, but that was not the case. He was 9 seconds to the rear of the field, so he was definitely holding up shotgun.
Archibald has made a bit of progress, moving back up. He's 7th right now. Tiller continuing to try and hunt down Huntley, and he's inside of 2/10 now.
Yeah, Tiller's there all over the back of Huntley too, so
On board with Tiller.
have like your own like roof can package or something?
Is it what now?
Do you have like your own like roof can package or something?
Nah, I just did this.
You can customize how like the roof cam looks from like the broadcast point of view, or
Well, there is no
Tiller
roof.
going to the outside. There is no roof cam? What do you mean?
Not on what I have for cameras. I just took the chase and just zoomed it in and moved it all around till it looked like a hood cam.
Oh, okay. So how do you do, like, how are you able to go to that whenever you need it? Is it just like a button you can press, or?
Oh,
Right,
contact.
all aggressively all over the back of Tiller, going down the front straightaway, the not so straight front straightaway. Like we say, it's a D-shaped oval, so it's a curve. As they navigate 1 and 2, we are about 15 laps away, give or take, from pitting again, Chris. So maybe anywhere from 12 to 15, maybe 8. Like I said, give or take.
Man, Huntley putting the nose to anybody that gets out front, huh? You put it to Sanchez, not necessarily on purpose, but he ain't scared to use the horn.
I think Tiller tried to give a rhetorical bump back to Huntley into turn 1, but just couldn't quite get there, or something to that effect. But he's still just applying the pressure, trying to dump the dirty air all over that spoiler.
Tiller's looking on the high side. Gonna swing that corner wide, maybe try and get a run on Huntley. He's gonna go low into 3.
Great side-by-side racing
Oh!
here for the lead. This is helping Sean Judson catch up to these two.
Tiller had
John Tiller gets wicked loose going through 3 and 4. Yes, indeed, Chris.
Yeah, great save. That cost him time, but at least he didn't loop it around. Like you said, Judson now almost just a second behind. Less than a second behind Tiller. That's what Huntley wanted to see. He sees Tiller get a little loose and fall back, and you know he's going, all right. That's what I like. Give him a little breathing room. When your competitor makes a mistake that doesn't bring out a caution. Bon appetit. Tiller's going to be trying to reel Huntley back in, but he's going to have a bit of work to do to close that back up where he was.
Judson's right there in a sense. Like, he probably has the toe of Tiller, possibly, down the straightaways. Not sure about in the corners, but yeah, I don't really think he won it in the corners, truly, but... We have 2 cars 1 lap down at the moment. That is Richard Johns and Jaden Sanchez. If caution was to come out, they would possibly be the lucky dog recipient, depending on who's in the caution.
Pearson on pit road. He's got a bit of damage to the right side of that car. So it's probably kick off the green flag stops, as you were saying, Will. Should be coming up.
Looks like Pearson might have dragged the right side, or the right wall down, the outside retaining wall.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that just happened or if it happened a bit earlier. Tiller right on Huntley's back bumper now. And down the backstretch, continuing to close. Just about inside 2/10.
Nathan Lyon in danger of going a lap down. Huntley, Tiller, Judson, all right here. That's the top three, like we talked about. As you can see how difficult it can be to make a pass around Kentucky here, as Tiller's going to get kind of stuck behind his teammate for a mere moment and puts Judson almost in a compromising position in turn 3, but he drives out of it. "89 laps in the books. Caution free."
Oh, Tiller loose off the corner. Judson's going to steal second away from him. Brandon Moore hit pit road. Archibald, Sanchez, Johns. Judson looking to take the lead away from Huntley.
Taking the what?
Taking the lead.
Oh, okay. Like, excuse me, sir? What was he taking?
That was more of a fumble word than a miss word.
Yeah.
Judson, your new leader. That's going to be in the pit stop time. I wonder if maybe Huntley will take this time to short pit and try to get a little bit more time on Judson. Although, well, they should be just about inside the window, right? Yeah.
That's questionable.
Got like what do we got, 48 laps to go? Something like that?
You'd have to try to wait, like, I would say at least 4 more laps.
Judson just dipped off into the pits, and now Huntley has the lead back. But as we know, well, the longer that Huntley waits, the further back he's going to end up when Judson comes back out on those fresh tires. Almost looked like he took a little bit lower line entering the corner. I wonder if he may be trying to pit this time. Looks like he's slowing down. Yeah, Huntley's going to pit this time. So good move by Brian to get those tires ASAP. Make sure that Judson doesn't get too much up on him. Judson's heading back out on the track now. Nathan Lyon is going to be your leader once he passes Brian Hunt in the pits. Sanchez going by Nathan Lyon. Several laps down. How many? 2 laps down. Lyon going to bring it down pit road.
Could we see a caution-free race here this evening at Kentucky? There's been a couple of things that probably would have been questionable, and NASCAR would have probably maybe thrown a caution for, like the Pete Woodrum crash down the back straightaway,
But NASCAR really likes throwing caution. They're pretty about that. They're about it. They throw them when there is no reason.
it didn't used to be that way.
No. You also used to be able to roll your car and finish the race. If it moves and drives, yeah, we're going to finish the race. But now you break a friggin' control arm and you're all done. That just seems crazy to me. What's the I'm blanking on the name of the part, Will. In the back that they always break. Toe link? That's not right, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always bend those or break them or whatever. Imagine that
Yeah,
being
because
kicked
the
out of
car
a...
wants to kick.
Yeah, imagine being disqualified from a friggin' NASCAR Cup race because you bent a toe link and you couldn't get it changed in a couple of minutes. Ugh. You know my thoughts on the DVP. I'm not about it. I hate it. Put it in the garage. Let's spend some time. Oh, 5 minutes. Anyways, Brandon Moore is the current leader. John Tiller is second. Judson's in third, but he's got those fresh tires. He's coming in quick. Tiller and Moore still need to hit the pit road. Lap 98 of 130 here at Kentucky. Watching the BNR Cup Series on the 1-5 Studios YouTube channel. Okay, Moore and Tiller did pit, so they're not on old tires. They're just on slightly older tires than, actually not even much. Tiller hit on lap 90 and Judson hit 92. Where is Huntley fared out in all this? Oh, he's a lap down. How did that happen?
I think he sped entering pit road
Oh no.
because I think he had an awful long pit stop. Because I don't recall seeing him go back
Oh,
in.
yeah.
I think
There
he
it
might
is.
have sped.
Yep, you can see it right there, Will. Pit stop time, 55 seconds. That'll do
So
it.
that's a costly mistake for Brian this evening, unless a caution comes out or he can have a couple of cautions to get him back on the lead lap. But Tiller all over the back of Brandon Moore now at the moment, so it's a battle against Moore and Tiller. Does Moore have anything to hold off Tiller? Tiller has slightly fresher tires, just a few lap fresher tires than Brandon. Brandon pitted at lap 89. Tiller, I believe it was either 91 or 92. It said on your graphics. So
I think it was
28
90.
laps to go at the line. And Sean Judson's right here in third position, just kind of eyeing, seeing what's happening, almost licking his chops in case anything was to happen. He is there. So, coming together between the 27 and 88, if he can navigate through the carnage, hey, he could walk away as the leader. And Pearson still sitting in that top 5. Look at that. Like I say, just about every race I call with Pearson in, he's Mr. Consistently top 5 somewhere. Campbell back in the 4th position, having a good run with him, as Tiller's still all over the back of Brandon Moore. As you might want to say, almost like a bad rash. Brandon still forgot to change his paint scheme.
What do you mean?
Well, no, we were talking about it Thursday night. He said he was going to change his paint scheme, but, he did not.
I see. Tiller still trying to get more. Just a little bit of a gap between them two. Little air bubble. Oh, looked like Moore didn't get off that corner so well. It's going to let Tiller on his inside. Tiller's to the quarter.
Oh,
man, that was about contact.
Tiller wanted to kind of slide up a half a lane after he entered the corner, and Brandon Moore kind of wanted to diamond that middle to high lane. And there was almost a coming together like you talked about, just epic tight racing here at Kentucky. 25 laps to go, Chris. How much longer is this tight racing going to ensue before we possibly might see the first caution of the evening as Bradford? We're going to be lapping all the way up to currently 7th place, excuse me, if we get to Bradford. Got to remember.
Yeah, he's about to. He's right there.
Yeah.
Tiller looking on the inside again as they come across the line. Could this lap car play a role in this battle right here? Tiller looked like he was a little bit loose off of the corner. Oh, he was. That cost him. Tiller keeps getting right there and then just making a slight mistake and falling back away from Moore. And having to make that time back up. No doubt that's killing his tires, having to work the extra bit more than Moore is.
Yes, no pun intended. So Brian got by Nathan for 8th position to be the first car 1 lap. Well, yeah, if Bradford can stay ahead of the race leaders, Brian would be the first car 1 lap down, but they are all over the back of Bradford now. 22 laps remaining. Can Bradford be used as a pick by Brandon? So many B's, so many B's.
There goes Brandon Moore. Making the pass on AB. Ooh, Tiller slides up and Bradford almost gets up to him. Judson patiently just trying to be smooth, put down some good laps, trying to close in on the back of Tiller. Maybe able to use a little bit of draft off of Bradford. Bradford slides up the track a tad. And Judson's going to make that pass. Again, not for position. But one more lap car out of the way. Moore kind of open up that gap just a tad. We're over 4/10 now.
Brandon Moore trying to go for back-to-back wins this week in the BNR Cup Series. I know Thursdays is fixed, but you know.
He won on Thursday?
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for helping me out with the rest of that.
That was Pocono?
It was Pocono.
Yeah, me too.
I've been calling it that for years, man.
Yeah.
I was only good there. Well, I should take that back. I had a couple of good stints there in the heat days. But NASCAR, what was it, NASCAR, the game 2011, or I want to say it might have been Inside Line. Inside Line, just let me tell you about this real quick while we're not really watching anybody beat and bang. So I had this Phoenix setup that I could take to Martinsville, I could take to New Hampshire, Bristol, all the short tracks, right? And it was a glitch in the system. It was a glitch in the game to where the gearing was just right. Your car would launch about 2 car lengths ahead on the AI controlled restarts whenever it would go back green. And I had a friend that would call me like, "Oh, you're hacking," and I'm like, "No, it's a Phoenix setup with Phoenix gears being used at a different track, so the game is registering, the AI going through the gears faster." You know what I mean, Chris? So I would use that setup at so many different places, and I used it at Pocono, and it was so weird because the tunnel turn and I want to say turn 3, I would lose so much time in turn 1, but the tunnel turn and turn 3, I would just be so smooth through as Sean Judson challenging John Tiller. But yeah, man, I only had a few good runs at Pocono. Pocono never treated me all that kindly. Same way with Sonoma.
Back on the controllers, I was good at Pocono, but I've never liked it. It's just not for me. Even watching it, I don't like. But Judson is not liking how he's fallen away from Tiller just a tad.
Yeah, they're having an intense battle for second place here with Judson and Tiller. 15, 14 laps to go. We're trying to decide which one wants to try to chase down Brandon.
Here we
I'm
go.
going to call him one or the other.
Judson's got second place now that he's not having to get by Tiller. Can he get up to the back of Moore with just
Tiller
14?
might challenge this in turn 3. No, he does not. He's not able to get back there. I got all hyped up.
Going 13 laps to go. Judson needs to close up 4/10 on Brandon Moore before he can try to make a pass. It's really the only battle going on the track.
No, Judson's caught up to Brandon, so Judson's going to look low here going down the front straightaway. Archie's trying to get out the way, I think. No, he's not. Okay, my bad. He went low down the front straightaway, but they weren't there adding yet, so.
Judson takes the lead. We got a new leader. We're almost inside of 10 to go. Moore's not done yet. He's going to try back on the high side. We got that lap car of Archibald right in front of him. Oh, and Moore has a wiggle. That's going to cost him. Judson is clear for the lead.
Yes, for the time being, he's going to take the lead and lead that lap with 10 laps to go.
Now the battle's going to be for second between Tiller and Moore. Oh, Moore's hecka sideways right there. Tiller clear with second. Now, is he going to be able to reel in Sean Judson for the win? But Judson just made the pass on him only a handful of laps ago. On board with Tiller. That's John's in front of him.
And putting another lap down on Sanchez as he's navigating the traffic here. Tiller trying to catch back up to Judson, but I just think Judson did a masterful job trying to be the one to conserve his tires the best, maybe, or maybe pounce on the contenders when they were maybe sliding or slipping just a bit more than him, right? So. Judson, Tiller, Moore, Campbell, and Pearson. That rounds out the top 5, and 5 cars left on the lead lap as Tiller and Moore battling and exchanging positions for second and third. Brandon Moore getting back by Tiller.
What the heck happened there? He just a sudden surge of speed out of Moore.
Yep.
Weird.
That's the best thing I could think of.
I thought he was done. He had those couple wiggles that fell back from Tiller, and that was the last we were seeing of him. But I was wrong. Five laps to go here at Kentucky. Oh no, Will! Yellow flag. First caution, and it's with 5 laps to go.
And it looks like it's Sammy Archibald as he's having some trouble. Finally, the car gave up the ghost.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that. All green laps until 5 to go. Oh, well.
124, 125 green flag laps somewhere around that ballpark. And coming out of turn number 4, yes, indeed, Archie's just going to lose it here.
He was in trouble halfway through.
Yes, he was, all on his own, unfortunately. And like I said, the car's just going to kick out and bam, overcorrection into the outside retaining wall. And that is a tough hit because there's no saver barrier there. So, unfortunately,
oh my God.
Campbell almost, his good run almost went out the ball field this evening, ladies and gentlemen. That would have been a foul ball, but my goodness. Gonna have to, let's get an on-board shot with Campbell and see how close.
All right. Ooh. All right, it wasn't that close. It's just sure he had to clean his pants out.
Yeah.
Campbell. Oh, you could hear him jump out of it and bout walk those things up. Great job by Campbell. Just barely avoiding that car coming back up on the track. So this changes it all up, Will. If Judson is not if he's not a short run car, then he is in trouble. Talk about a Martin Truex at Richmond situation here. Hopefully the same doesn't happen to him and he can put that thing in victory lane. But leading, then boom, caution. 3 to go. So this is going to be a green white checker right out the gate. What do you think, Will? We're going to have one? We don't have a huge field, so...
Yeah, we could have a couple here.
I hope not. One green white checker. This has been a great, nice, clean race. And heck, even that wasn't a wreck. I mean, he just self-spun, really. So who got the lucky dog? Bradford or Line? The line is the last car on the lead lap.
Like, I want to say Bradford, but it could be Line. I think Line's taking the wave around. Sanchez and Line are taking the wave around, I think. Yes, indeed, I was correct.
So, Sean Judson, Brandon Moore, front row. John Tiller and Chris Campbell behind them in the second row. We're going to have a green-white checkered. Green-white checkered is our first restart of the night. Here those wave around cars catching up to the back of the field. Pace car is just about to pull off the racing surface. And the green flag is back out.
Yep. We owe each other a Pepsi. Felix down there getting out the way as he is multiple laps down. Don't want to mess up anybody else's race. Well, I'm not saying he has. I'm just saying he's just been struggling here this evening. So
Judson's got a good lead right now. Tiller behind him, and Brandon Moore has fallen to third out of that restart between himself and Tiller. White flag is out. Tiller going to make any last-ditch efforts.
this has got to be the time to do it. He's probably going to get a run coming off of turn number 2. No, he's going to get tight, I do believe. Judson, he's got a good car length and a half lead going into turn 3. So
it's not going to be enough.
Depends. No, it's not. Sean Judson's going to bring it home and win here this evening at Kentucky.
And Sanchez wrecks across the line. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our top finishers. Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway. We have got our top finishers here. Let's start off with Brandon Moore bringing it home in third place tonight. Brandon, we saw you up race. Tell us how your night went.
It's a good night overall. I'm wore out. That was a freaking handful. We kind of overshot it with the adjustments. It was a good short run car, but that thing was deadly loose on the long runs. Uh, but overall, it was a really fun race. Coming home P3, you can't complain with that.
Absolutely. Will, what do you got for him?
No, you never can complain with bringing it home on the podium positions either step. When you get to talk to us, Brandon, so tell us about what you were kind of out there struggling with, kind of fighting. We just seen some competitors either tight or just really sawing the wheel. What were you fighting with, Brandon?
Long run loose. It was just a handful. You probably see me a couple of times about eat the inside wall getting loose. Had a
Yeah, we
couple close calls, but we was able to catch it each time. But uh, it was a battle with the rear keeping it under it. Long run, short run, it was freaking amazing. It could put down some really quick times, but once you get 25, 30 laps on it, it was a nightmare.
Talladega, I believe, is next week, Brandon.
Oh boy. Survival. That will be next week. That will be the plan. Survival.
Um,
All right. Well, congratulations on putting that on the podium tonight. Who do you want to thank, Brandon?
I just want to thank the broadcast booth as always. Thank all the competitors. Congratulations to Sean with the win. He drove a really good race, and look forward to next week. And hopefully we can survive to have another similar conversation.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Brandon.
Appreciate it. Everybody have a good night.
All right, let's bring in our second place finisher, John Tiller, putting in second place tonight. John, you had a great race up there at the front the entire night.
Yeah, man, it was an interesting night. We fired off, had a ton of speed, man. Was able to pull it out there in the lead and pull away a little bit. Of course, you had Brian up there. He was a thorn in the side as usual. It's always a tight race with me and Brian. But yeah, we fell off super fast. Just as fast as we were, we fell off. So we come down for that first set of pit stops. I was like, I'm gonna make a little adjustment here. Adjusted it up a little, tightened it up some, and man, it was a good car after that. So it was a fun race though. Sean had a ton of long run pace.
Will?
Yeah, you talked about the intense battles you were in all night. Tell us about, we would kind of see somebody take the lead. They would drive off a few car lengths or maybe a second and a half away. So clean air was important here tonight at Kentucky. But once you were in that dirty air, it just seemed like it could be a struggle. Tell us about that, John.
Well, for me, honestly, the dirty air was a helpful thing for my car. When I got out in that clean air, like I said, I was so fast early that it was so loose, man. And that's why everybody was able to catch me up there is, I was really struggling handling the car. So once I got in the dirty air, it kind of tightened it up and made it drive a little better. So I was honestly the complete opposite of most guys tonight. I didn't struggle in the dirty air. It was a welcome sight for me.
All right, well, who do you want to thank, John? Help you get here.
Of course, I got to thank all my teammates over there at Fueled Up Motorsports. Nate ran a good race tonight. Didn't get the finish he wanted, but he ran a good race. Of course, Brandon's been hanging out, helping us here lately. He got a podium, so couldn't be happier for him. Of course, a big shout out to all those sponsors out there: Clark Heaton and Air, Admin Box, New HD Radio, McConey Setup Shop. Man, without those people, I wouldn't be able to do this week in and week out and afford this expensive sim. And of course, thank you guys for putting on the show you do every week. Without y'all, we wouldn't have a show to watch back. So we really do appreciate it, guys.
All right. Well, we appreciate the kind words, and go celebrate your second place finish. Great job tonight, John.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You too. All right. Now let's bring in putting that thing up in victory lane tonight. Sean, you had a great race. Worked your way up through the beginning. You have to tell us what happened at the beginning. Why you started in the back, but there, tell us all about it.
So starting in the back was entirely an idiot move on my part. I was holding a button on my wheel, not realizing it was the get out of the car button.
So you missed the start.
I had to start in the pits.
Well, it's even more of an impressive feat then, since you started in the pits and won. Tell us how you made it up through that.
Yeah, luckily my car was super good on the long runs. Towards the end of the first run, I was 0.5 a second faster than the leaders for the last like 10 laps there, and the long run pace tonight was fantastic. If it wouldn't have been for the long runs, I don't think I would have come even close.
Well,
yeah. So from starting in the pitch, you know, you were like 9 seconds back or something like that, early going, like, and you were able to just keep chasing down people, right? And you were just passing them slowly by slowly, and then you worked your way into the top 5. Tell us about working through the whole field and getting your chances of being into the podium positions and then eventually taking the lead.
So I really think it was just every time we'd end up with a run, I'd have a lot of clean air for the start of the run, so I could just manage the tires and everything. And then by the time I was catching people, they were burned off, so it made it a little easier to get by them.
Right, Sean. So just you just maybe saving that tire, or just, you know, conserving your car just a little bit better than other competitors this evening. Next week is Talladega. If you're here for Talladega, what's the thoughts, the preparation for yourself going into that event?
I won't be here because I have to work, unfortunately.
No.
But
Gotcha,
it'd be
Sean.
just keep the car clean. If I was there, just saying, plate racing's always unpredictable, so basically just keep the car clean for first 3/4 of the race and then have a chance at the end.
Right. Any final thoughts, shout outs, anything else like that before we let you go celebrate your win here, Sean?
Yeah, my team, Fat Boys Motorsports, W Energy, Juddy Designs, Bittinger, Custom Creations, KDC Photography. Those guys are really what helped me keep doing what I do and getting better every week. And you guys for putting on the broadcast.
all right. Well, congratulations on the victory lane finish tonight. So go celebrate your win, Sean.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You as well. All right. Well, that was a pretty tame race, but we saw a few good battles in there, ending up for a pretty good finish in this one. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a pretty tame Kentucky race. I can't believe it went that long without a caution. 124, 25 laps without a caution. Finally got a caution. It looked like there was some guys out there trying to not really trying, but they were sawing at the wheel, trying to save that car all night, and it was a struggle for them this evening. So I can't wait to see what type of racing Talladega. I had my own fumble there. You know, next week, Chris.
Absolutely. Well, plate racing, as you said, it can be really anything. It could just be a wreck fest. It could be boring. It could be just a whole bunch of exciting nonstop green racing. Anything can happen next week. And then of course, same thing with the winners. Anybody can win, really. It can be just a wild roll of the dice. So we'll be we'll be back with you on Saturday. It's been good tonight, and we'll catch you next week. Will. That's going to do it for us here at 1-5 Studios. We'd like to thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed the racing action, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the action. Once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the next track.